Finger Man wants to be your friend. Please like and subscribe. I've always loved the idea of camping. The great outdoors, the fresh air, the escape from the chaos of daily life. So, when my husband, Mark, suggested we take our 2 kids, Emma and Jake, for a weekend camping trip, I was thrilled. We decided to go to Pine Ridge National Forest, a secluded spot known for its beautiful scenery and peaceful environment. We packed our gear, loaded the car, and set off early Friday morning, excited for a weekend of adventure. The drive was uneventful, and we reached the campsite by midday. The site was perfect, a clearing surrounded by tall pines with a gentle stream nearby. We set up our tent, gathered firewood, and spent the afternoon exploring the area. The kids were delighted, running around and discovering all sorts of interesting plants and bugs. As the sun began to set, we built a campfire, roasted marshmallows, and told stories. It was everything I had hoped for. The first sign that something was off came late that night. I was lying in the tent, half asleep, when I heard a strange noise outside. It was a low, guttural growl, unlike anything I had ever heard. My heart raced, but I convinced myself it was just a wild animal, maybe a bear or a coyote, and it would go away. I listened for a while longer, but the sound eventually faded, and I drifted off to sleep. The next morning, I found strange tracks around our campsite. They were large, almost like a human footprint, but with elongated toes and deep claw marks. Mark dismissed them as bear tracks, but something about them felt off to me. Still, I didn't want to scare the kids, so I kept my concerns to myself. We spent the day hiking and fishing, trying to make the most of our time in the forest. However, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Every so often, I'd catch a glimpse of movement out of the corner of my eye. But when I turned to look, there was nothing there, I told Mark. But he laughed it off, saying I was just being paranoid. That night, the growling returned, louder and closer than before. I lay awake, clutching my flashlight, every muscle tense. Mark was snoring beside me, oblivious to the noise. Suddenly, there was a rustling sound, followed by a loud thud. Something was outside, moving around our campsite. I held my breath, praying it would go away. The next morning, we found our supplies scattered around the site. Food was missing, and there were more of those strange tracks. Mark finally admitted something was wrong. We decided to cut our trip short and leave that afternoon. We packed up quickly, but the uneasy feeling lingered. As we were loading the car, Emma screamed. We turned to see a large, shadowy figure standing at the edge of the clearing. It was tall, with long, matted hair and glowing eyes. It watched us for a moment, then vanished into the trees. We piled into the car and sped away, hearts pounding. The drive home was silent. No one knew what to say. When we finally got home, we reported the encounter to the park rangers. They listened, but I could tell they were skeptical. They promised to investigate, but said it was likely just a bear. We knew better. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that creature watching us. The growling echoed in my ears. I knew it wasn't over. We had escaped, but whatever was out there knew where to find us. We never went back to Pine Ridge, and I haven't been camping since. The memory of that weekend still haunts me, a constant reminder of the unknown lurking in the shadows. Who can be your